attendance for this afternoon's regular session. The regular presiding officer, Honorable Eva Lorena Stabilio is present. Honorable Leo Di Revita is present. Honorable Meliton Di Lemos is present. Honorable Shiara Isabel Uy Salazar is present. Honorable Vranijem O. Kaasi is present. Honorable Agripino G. Coquilla Jr. is present. Honorable Rex Jasper R. Ala is present. Honorable Romeo L. Catayas is present. Honorable Catherine S. Elliott is present. Honorable Edmark O. Wakan is present. Honorable Arthur V. Ong Jr. is present. Honorable Datu Eric I. Perez is present. Honorable Ana Angela G. Rillion is still out. Honorable Beto Vinos Rubinot is present. Madam President, there are 13 members present. There is a quorum of it.
There being a quorum, this session is in order. Let us now proceed to the opening prayer to be led by Honorable Dr. Eric Perez, followed by the pambansang awit, panunumpa ng katapatan sa watawat ng Pilipinas, the Councilor's Creed, and singing of the Tagum Mabuhay Ka March.
Let's put ourselves in the presence of the Lord and pray according to our faith. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with humble heart as we gather for these regular sessions. We thank you for the gift of service and the opportunity to work for the welfare of our community. Grant us wisdom, understanding, and discernment as we deliberate matters that affect our people. Guide our thoughts, words, and decisions so that they may be just, fair, and aligned with the common good. Instill in us integrity, unity, and deep sense of responsibility. Help us set aside personal interests and focus on what is best for those we serve. May your presence be with us throughout the session, leading us toward productive discussion and meaningful outcomes. All this we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, helas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang ay di magdidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng karnay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ng kamay at sabay natin bigkasin ang panumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas. Ako ay Pilipino, buong katapatan
nanunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas at sa bansang kanyang sinasagisan, na may dangal, katarungan at kalayaan, na pinakakilos ng sambayanang makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa.
The Councilor's Creed.
I am a Philippine Councilor, mandated by law to enact measures and ordinances that redound to the general welfare of my constituents in their pursuit of happiness, peace, and prosperity. I believe in public service above self as our guiding principle of our official act, and as I tread the pathways of local legislation, may the Almighty guide my mind and my heart, that I shall be true to my constituents and to the Filipino people.
Mga bukid niya at mga nasasakupan. Nagmamahal sa kapayapaan, nagkakaisa lahat at nagtutulungan patungo sa miting kaunlaran. Di magtatagal maaabot din lahat ng pinapangarap natin. Kapit kamay lahat ay ating harapin, ang tuktok ay kaya nating abutin. Tagum mabuhay ka, nasa'yo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Tagum mabuhay ka, nasa'yo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Paraisong puno ng pag-asa.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Okay, let us now proceed to the reading and consideration of the minutes and journal of proceedings of the 36th regular session on April 6, 2026. Councilor Wakan.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Considering that each and every member has been furnished with a copy of the minutes of the 36th regular session dated April 6, 2026 of the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod, consisting of 67 pages in total. I therefore move, Madam Presiding Officer, to dispense with the reading of its full text. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilors Eliot, Rubinos, and Ala. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for the adoption and approval of the minutes of the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod 36th regular session dated April 6, 2026, consisting a total of 67 pages.
Moved by the Committee Chairperson on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, seconded by Councilor Aala, Eliot, and Rubinos. Is there any discussion, any amendments, objection? There being none, therefore the minutes of the 36th regular session of the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod held on April 6, 2026, consisting of 67 pages, is hereby adopted. Proceed to the Journal of Proceedings.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Citing the same reason, Madam Presiding Officer, I move, considering that each and every member has been furnished with a copy of the Journal of Proceedings of the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod of the 36th regular session dated April 6, 2026, consisting of 52 pages, I move to dispense with the reading of its full text. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilors Aala, Revita, Eliot, and Rubinos. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for the approval and adoption of the Journal of Proceedings of the 36th regular session of the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod dated April 6, 2026, consisting a total of 52 pages.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilor Aala and Rubinos. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, the Journal of Proceedings of the 36th regular session held on April 6, 2026, consisting of 52 pages, is hereby adopted. Let us now proceed to the privilege or any member. Yes, Councilor Rubinos and then Councilor Ong.
Madam Presiding Officer, esteemed members of this body, I respectfully ask to be excused from this session as I have an important meeting with our local chief executive that requires the presence of the 23 Punong Barangay, and the meeting will start at 3 p.m. at JB Ayala Hall. Thank you for your understanding, Madam Presiding Officer.
Very well. Councilor Ong.
To our Presiding Officer, Honorable Evalorine Estabilio, our esteemed colleagues in this Honorable Council, ladies and gentlemen, and to the listening public, maayong hapon. I rise today on a matter of personal and collective privilege to extend our heartfelt congratulations and to recognize a truly remarkable milestone achieved by one of our very own, Honorable Leo D. Revita. Last night, our dear colleague was conferred the Saludo Excellence Award for Most Outstanding Humanitarian in Public Service, held at the prestigious Manila Hotel. This recognition is not only a personal achievement, but also a moment of pride for this entire council and the community we serve. The Saludo Excellence Award, a distinguished non-profit organization, honors individuals and institutions who embody excellence, leadership, and compassion in public service through a rigorous and highly selective process encompassing public nomination, thorough screening, document verification, background investigation, and panel interview. Our colleague emerged as one of only 10 awardees in public service category in Mindanao. Such distinction speaks volumes about the integrity, dedication, and impact of her work. But beyond the title and recognition, what truly makes this achievement meaningful is the heart behind the service. We have witnessed firsthand her unwavering commitment to the people, her ability to listen, to act, and to serve with sincerity and compassion. She has gone beyond the call of duty, consistently uplifting lives and bringing hope to communities. This award may bear her name, but it reflects a deeper truth. The genuine public service, rooted in empathy and driven by purpose, creates lasting change and impact. It reminds us all that leadership is not measured by position, but by the lives we touch and the difference we make. And this is what truly makes one Saludo. To our esteemed colleague, Honorable Leo de Revita, thank you for inspiring us. Your achievement is a testament to what it truly means to serve. May this recognition further strengthen your resolve and continue to inspire in the noble pursuit of public service. Naway hindi ka magsawang tumulong sa bawat mamamayan ng ating syudad at magbigay inspirasyon sa lahat. Ang Sangguniang Panglungsod ay buong pusong saludo at nagbibigay pugay sa iyo. Once again, congratulations and we are very proud of you. Mabuhay ka. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Wow, congratulations, Councilor Revita. Okay, Councilor Revita.
Daghang kaayong salamat, Honorable Oloy Ong. To our presiding officer, Eva Lorraine Estabilio, distinguished colleagues in this honorable council, ladies and gentlemen, and to the listening public, maayong hapon kanatong tanan. I stand before you to express my profound gratitude and to share a significant milestone with all of you. Last night, I was deeply honored to receive the Saludo Excellence Award for Most Outstanding Humanitarian in Public Service held at the Manila Hotel, Philippines. This recognition is not mine alone. It is a reflection of our shared commitment, compassion, and dedication of every public servant who chooses to serve beyond duty. Those who listen, who act, and who genuinely care for the people we are entrusted to serve. I accept this honor with humility, fully aware that there is still so much work to be done. The challenge faced by our communities require not just leadership, but empathy, collaboration, and sustained action. Let this recognition inspire us all to continue striving for excellence, not for recognition, but for betterment of the people we serve. To the city government of Tagum, headed by our city mayor, Honorable Ray Uy, to the 10th City Council, headed by our Vice Mayor, Eva Lorraine Estabilio, and to our beloved Tagumeños, thank you for your unwavering support and trust. This achievement belongs to all of us. To this honorable body, thank you for allowing me to share this privilege. Maraming salamat at saludo sa ating lahat.
Once again, congratulations, Councilor Revita. Some members would like to avail of the privilege. There being none, let's now proceed to the question hour. And since there are no invited guests, let us now proceed to the reading and referral of proposed measures.
So, Madam President, for our measures on first reading, there are items under letters and communications. Number 1, letter dated April 1, coming from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy, pertaining to the draft memorandum of agreement between the City Government of Tagum and the following partner hospitals for the implementation of Project Caring for Others, Tabang Medical Program, pursuant to City Ordinance Number 1017, Series of 2022, for appropriate action to wit: letter A, Tagum Doctors Hospital Incorporated; letter B, Aquino Medical Specialists Hospital Incorporated; and letter C, Wesley King Specialists Hospital.
Item number 1 is referred to the Committee on Health and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Item number 2, letter dated March 31, coming from the Honorable City Mayor, Ray T. Uy. This pertains to the draft memorandum of agreement by and among the Handicap International Federation Philippines Branch Office, the City Government of Tagum, Novo Nordisk Pharmaceuticals Philippines Incorporated, and the Roche Philippines Incorporated Diagnostic Division for the implementation of Changing Diabetes in Children project.
Item number 2 is referred to the Committee on Health and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 3, letter dated March 31, still coming from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to a deed of donation of a parcel of land for the road right-of-way purposes, owned by the following donors located at Barangay Kambugan and Barangay Magupo North, this city, in favor of the City Government of Tagum, to wit: Reynaldo Sagulo and Mary Jane Suebagyo Ganya.
Item number 3 is referred to the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 4, letter dated April 6, coming from the Honorable City Mayor, Ray T. Uy. This pertains to a draft resolution authorizing the City Mayor to sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum the deed of absolute sale and deed of donation covering the parcel of land registered in the name of the City Government intended for the beneficiaries of various city relocation sites.
Item number 4 is referred to the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 5, letter dated March 19, coming from Honorable Joel C. Benaning, the Punong Barangay of Busaon, pertaining to Barangay Tax Ordinance Number 25-001, entitled An Ordinance Amending Chapter 3, Article A, and Chapter 6, Article A of Barangay Tax Ordinance Number 08-001, otherwise known as the Revised Barangay Revenue Code of Barangay Busaon.
Item number 5 is referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations, Barangay Affairs, and Barangay Affairs.
Number 6, letter dated April 7, coming from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy, pertaining to the following measures relative to the purchase of one unit response vehicle for the use of Tagum City Central Fire Station, to wit: letter A, a resolution authorizing the utilization of the amount of 2 million pesos under the Trust Fund, Bureau of Fire Protection, for the purchase of one unit response vehicle pickup type for the use of Tagum City Central Fire Station, and letter B, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of one unit response vehicle pickup type intended for the use of the Tagum City Central Fire Station.
Item number 6 is referred to the Committee on Disaster Reduction and Management, Finance, Budget, and Appropriations, and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
And the last item, letter dated April 7, coming from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy, pertaining to the request for amendment on certain provisions of the contract of infrastructure projects with Ruplino Seismundo Construction Corporation.
Item number 7 is referred to the Committee on Public Works and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges. Let's now proceed to the committee report. Committee on Education, Councilor Aala is recognized.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Joint Committee Report Number 6, Series of 2026, submitted by Joint Committees on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulation, and Privileges, with subject matter letter dated March 30, 2026, from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang, through Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, City Vice Mayor, duly received by the Office of the Secretary to the Sangguniang on April 1, 2026, the herein draft Memorandum of Agreement between the City Government of Tagum and Kapayong College of Agriculture, Science, and Technology, or KCAS, for the student internship program, Since copies were given of the said Joint Committee Report number 6, series of 2026, I move to the dispense of the reading of the said Joint Committee Report, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Revita, and Eliot. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 6, submitted by the Committees on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, is hereby adopted. Next committee report, Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. For and on behalf of the members of the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, allow me to present this committee report number 4, series 2026. This was conducted last April 8, 2026 at 2:20 p.m. with the subject matter, two subject matters. One is relating the Executive Committee CDC Exicom Resolution number 3, series 2026, adopting the amendments by inclusion and by modification of various projects in the annual investment program for calendar year 2026, known as AIP 2026. And item number 2 that was being deliberated by the committee was that of the subject forwarded or endorsed supplemental budget number 1, series 2026 of the City of Tagum, appropriating the sum of 264,327,936 pesos only. Considering that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod has a copy of this committee report number 4, series 2026 with attachment as enclosed or attached, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Aala, Revita, and Rubinos. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, for its adoption.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, committee report number 4, submitted by the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, is hereby adopted.
Another, Madam Presiding Officer.
Proceed.
For and on behalf of the members of the two committees, the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, and the Committee on Barangay Affairs, allow me to present this Joint Committee Report number 6, series 2026. This was conducted last April 8, 2026 in the SP Session Hall with the subject matter. This is in relation to the Barangay Resolution number 65, series of 2026 from the Barangay Visayan Village, entitled A Resolution Respectfully Requesting the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod of Tagum that the fuel, oil, and lubricants expense amounting to 3,250,000 pesos under the annual budget for calendar year 2026 of Barangay Visayan Village, Tagum City, Davao del Norte, that was declared inoperative by Resolution number 427, Series 2026, be likewise declared operative. Considering that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod have a copy of this Joint Committee Report number 6, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala and Catayas. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, for its adoption.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla. Is there any discussion, amendment, or objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 6, submitted by the Committees on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, and Barangay Affairs, is hereby adopted.
Another, Madam Presiding Officer, for and on behalf of the members of the three committees, the Committee on Public Works, Facilities, and Utilities, the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, and the Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, allow me to present this Joint Committee Report number 4, Series 2026. This was conducted last April 8, 2026 at 3:40 in the afternoon with the subject matter. This is in relation to the endorsed letter relating the list of projects of the city government of Tagum funded by the Department of Interior and Local Government, DILG, under the Local Government Support Fund, Support to Barangay Development Program, known as LGSF, SBDP, and the Local Government Support Fund, Financial Assistance to LGUs, known as LGSF Falgo, for fiscal year 2025. Considering, again, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod has a copy of this Joint Committee Report number 4, Series 2026, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, second by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, for its adoption.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 4, submitted by the Committees on Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, Finance, Budget and Appropriations, and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges is hereby adopted. Some more committee reports. There being none, let's now proceed to the calendar of business. The Chairperson, Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, Attorney Ed Mark Wakan, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move for the approval of the calendar of business as stated in the notice of the 37th regular session dated April 13, 2026. So move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilors Aala and Catayas. Is there any discussion, any amendment to the calendar of business? Councilor Aala?
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. May I have the resolution number from the Secretary?
Madam President, that would be resolution number 606.
Thank you, Sir Secretary. A amendment for inclusion, resolution number 606, series of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City Mayor, Honorable Ray T.A. to enter into and sign on behalf of the City Government of Tagum the Memorandum of Agreement for Student Internship Program with Kapalong College of Agriculture, Science, and Technology. I move for its inclusion, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Catayas, and there be no objection. Resolution number 606 is included under unassigned business.
Thank you.
Some more inclusions. Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. May I ask confirmation if this is resolution number 607? Thank you. I move for inclusion under unassigned business, draft resolution number 607, Series 2026, with the title, A Resolution Approving the Amendments of the Annual Investment Program for Calendar Year 2026, AIP CY 2026, by inclusion and modification as embodied under City Development Council Executive Committee Resolution number 3, Series 2026. I so move for its inclusion.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala, Eliot, and Catayas. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 607 is included under unassigned business.
Another, Madam Presiding Officer, as recommended by the through Committee Report number 4 by the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, I move for inclusion under unassigned business, draft resolution number 608, series of 2026, with the title, A Resolution Declaring the Amount of 35,540,326 pesos only as savings from various items as covered by the Statement of Funding Sources duly certified by the City Budget Office, City Treasurer, and City Accountant. I so move for its inclusion.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, resolution number 608 is included under unassigned business.
May I ask our Secretary, Madam Presiding Officer, for the number of appropriation ordinance?
Madam Chair, that would be appropriation ordinance number 1.
Thank you. I move for inclusion under unassigned business, draft appropriation ordinance number 1, series 2026, with the title, an ordinance appropriating the amount of 264,327,936 pesos and 12 centavos only to defray payment of expenditures embodied in supplemental budget number 1 under the general fund for calendar year 2026. I so move for its inclusion.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Aala and Eliot. There be no objection, therefore appropriation ordinance number 1 is included under unassigned business.
May I ask confirmation if the next resolution will be 609? Thank you. I move for inclusion under unassigned business, draft resolution number 609, series 2026, with the title, a resolution authorizing Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum a contract for infrastructure project with Magar Construction and Supply for the construction of multipurpose building at Barangay San Agustin, Tagum City, funded by Local Government Support Fund, financial assistance to local government units, LGSF, Falgo, for fiscal year 2025. I so move for its inclusion.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala. There be no objection. Therefore, resolution number 609 is included under unassigned business. Summary inclusions? There being none, back to the main motion. Is there any amendment? Objection? As there is none, the calendar of business as amended five times is hereby adopted. Okay, let us now proceed to unfinished business.
Madam President, under unfinished business, we have City Ordinance number 108, series of 2026, an ordinance revising the composition, qualifications, and appointment of Purok peacekeepers in the City of Tagum, expanding eligibility to qualified elected Purok officials, creating the Barangay Peacekeepers Council, and the Tagum City Federation of Peacekeepers, and for other purposes.
Councilor Lemos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are supposed to introduce some amendments, Madam Chair, but this can be discussed thoroughly if this will be referred back to the committee level. So I move that this measure be referred back to the committee. I so move, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Lemos, seconded by Councilor Aala and Revita. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, City Ordinance number 108 is referred back to the Committee of Origin. Let us now proceed to items under unassigned business.
Under unassigned business, first item is resolution number 606, a resolution authorizing the City Mayor, Honorable Ray T. Uy, to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum, the Memorandum of Agreement for Student Internship Program with Kapalong College of Agriculture, Science and Technology.
Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Since copies were given of the said resolution number 606, series of 2026, I move to the dispense of the reading of the said draft resolution, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Revita. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move to approve on second reading, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala. Is there any second? Seconded by Councilor Revita. Any discussion?
Point of information, Honorable Presiding Officer, that this joint MOA between the KCAS and the Tagum City is renewal and starting for the approval, and it will expire on June 2028 of the said year. And most of the internship of under this program will be from Tagum City for the convenience of the student who are picking up their course in KCAS, Honorable Presiding Officer. That's all.
Okay, thank you for that information. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. I move that all of my fellow colleagues physically present will be co-proponent of the said joint draft resolution number 606 series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Rex Jasper Aala, seconded by Councilor Revita. And there being no objection, all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. I move to approve the second and final reading, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members physically present are in favor.
All members physically present being in favor, therefore, resolution number 606 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next item is resolution number 607, a resolution approving the amendments of the annual investment program for calendar year 2026 or AIPCY 2026 by inclusion and modification as embodied under City Development Council Executive Committee Resolution number 3 series of 2026.
Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Considering that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod have already received the copy of this draft resolution as attached to the committee report number 4, series 2026 of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation. And with assumption that all have already read the full content of this draft resolution, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Revita and Elliot. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, for approval for second reading.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Aala and Luis Salazar. Is there any discussion?
For information, Madam Presiding Officer, that this resolution will finally adopt and approve the deliberated inclusions and other modification of our annual investment program. There are two amendments for this. One is for inclusion, the other is by modification. So reason for these amendments, sometimes we amend because of other support from the national government, specifically the 11 projects, which included, there too is this a resolution that will authorize the local chief executive for the construction of multi-purpose buildings. So there are multi-purpose buildings, there are road construction, Madam Presiding Officer, and other infra projects that were not foreseen during the deliberation of the CDC. And for this case, in order for all these projects will be included, including the content of the supplemental budget number 1. So we need to, again, amend to include items covered by item number 1 up to the last item of this for inclusion. To be specific, on item number 96, that covers from the project Reading Empowers Youth, that this will improve the reading comprehension and literacy levels among youth through structured reading interventions and support activities. There's a budget of MOA about amounting to 2 million pesos. And we have also this innovative project of the city, which is re-nourishment of school-based feeding program. We have also a budget for publication Maintenance Program, the National Disability Rights Week, National Solo Parents Day, operationalization of sanitary landfill, up to the disaster response, specifically on the operationalization of Tagum City Overland Integrated Terminal Division. This will improve and ensure efficient, safe, and reliable transport services. And there are items also of concreting of Farm to Market Road at Barangay Magdum. This is under item number 96. And in totality, Madam Presiding Officer, most of the projects here are more of infrastructure development and programs for the schools, specifically for under 8 solar power lights to be installed of Barangay Gym, Pagsabangan, Farm 3, Barangay Gym, Pagsabangan, since there was already a new construction of the, we call it evacuation center in Barangay Pagsabangan. And there are items, Madam Presiding Officer, that were included in our supplemental budget number 1. So to this effect, this will finally vouch and or support the program stipulated under our supplemental budget number 1. So as a matter of policy, the city government, all LGUs cannot proceed for the approval of their budget unless otherwise it should be included and it should be deliberated first by the City Development Council. So to this effect, through Resolution number 3, Series 2026 of the City Development Council, they forwarded to the 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod copy of the resolution, including the attachment of all those items under inclusion and modification. So hence, this needs support from the members of the Sangguniang. Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you for that information, Councilor Coquilla. Proceed.
For amendment that all stipulations.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilor Lemos.
Thank you. This is an amendment by addition or modification of EIP. You know, every project of the city or LGU for that matter will not be approved unless included in the EIP. This basic requirement. We have understanding already, Madam Chair, that in the exercise of the LGU's proprietary function, vis-a-vis or in contrast with the LGU's governmental function, on matters of project involving proprietary function, I think there must have we have already understanding this, Madam Chair, in order to avoid repetition of similar situation in the cancellation of 284, that every project, especially involving the exercise of proprietary function or shall we say economic enterprise, there must have a prior feasibility study, no? Because in some instances, if that project is already included in the EIP, of course, resolutions involving local development plan is under review by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Now, if that resolution is approved by the Sangguniang, so it's presumed that that project or that that resolution is presumed consistent with the law, and we assume that that project is feasible. But later on, here comes another the assumption of another set of composition. Assuming that it's not amenable, no, but somehow there is a change of mind somewhere in the middle of the ocean. We can be confronted with problems, no, but somehow we don't want that to happen again. So I don't think if there is already a frame here or provision that would serve as a safety net in our EIP. Naka-appeal ba? Mayroon? In the annual? Naa?
Sige daw.
In other words, there must be provision that any project should not be implemented without a feasibility study. So we will require the city planning to have this in every endeavor that they have so that we can avoid causing damage to our LGU. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's my observation.
Okay. Duly noted. Yes, Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. It's a good observation, Madam Presiding Officer. It's laudable because from time to time, Madam Presiding Officer, as our oversight function, we will be, again, we are visiting one barangay and one infrastructure project to another. And we need to know why is it that there are projects that were demolished and newly constructed when in fact it was included in the annual budget or that was being deliberated during the CDC. So to that effect, Madam Chair, by the time that infra projects will be again appropriated with funds, it would be guaranteed through a special provision, Madam Presiding Officer, just an advance in discussion because that's one among the stipulation of one section of this annual budget. For clarity, Madam Presiding Officer, under section 6 of our supplemental budget number 1, it states here, infrastructure projects and other high-impact projects and projects with appropriation exceeding 10 million pesos shall be required to conduct social preparation, feasibility studies, and other equivalent studies to ascertain the viability, environmental laws compliance, and in adherence to the applicable law. So it's guaranteed, Madam Presiding Officer, that it should be, again, thorough study to that effect, Madam Presiding Officer, before the projects will be conducted. It should be conducted, Madam Presiding Officer, to save, to save and to maximize the funds of the local government. So with that, Madam Presiding Officer, it was emphasized during the deliberation of the CDC that the CDC, its function is to determine, because the CDC, its head secretariat is from the City Planning and Development Office. So the City Planning Development Office is the responsible office that will conduct study and ascertain the viability and the level of importance of every project. So it's again guaranteed, Madam Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Coquilla. Proceed na to the amendments.
On the amendment, Madam Presiding Officer, all stipulations covering this draft resolution number 607, Series 2026, shall be subject to form and style, and to correct whatever clerical errors on the printed resolution. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala and Revita. There being no objection, this resolution shall be subject to form and style.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod physically present the co-proponent of this resolution.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, that this draft resolution number 607, Series 2026, be approved for second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala and Revita. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Taasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Ilian. Madam President, all members physically present are in favor.
All members physically present being in favor, therefore resolution number 607 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next item is resolution number 608, a resolution declaring the amount of 35,540,326 pesos only as savings from various items as covered by the statement of funding sources duly certified by the City Budget Office, City Treasurer, and City Accountant.
Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. As enclosed to Committee Report Number 4, Series 2026 is the copy of this draft resolution number 608, Series 2026. And again, Madam Presiding Officer, with the assumption that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod have browsed over the content of this draft resolution, the entirety of this draft resolution number 608, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, for approval for second reading.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Aala and Uy Salazar. Is there any discussion?
For presentation, Madam Presiding Officer, for the sake of transparency, that the City of Tagum, through the Local Finance Committee, last March 18, 2026, finally deliberated the fiscal standing and or the status or the update of the financial matters of the city government of Tagum. And there was, again, savings incurred last year amounting to 35,540,326 pesos. And these were, again, savings of the following: the personnel services, meaning to say we appropriated amount for purposes of salaries and wages, and we incurred savings of about 10,353,772. For maintenance and other operating expenses, we have a savings of 140. For locally funded projects, we have a savings of 3,039,000 pesos. For the capital outlay, 6,805,000 pesos. Under the 20% development fund, 5 million. For current continuing unallotted, 5,850,000. Prior years allotted, 352,554. Prior years unallotted, 4 million pesos. And all these savings, Madam Presiding Officer, were being certified through their joint certification. And this was duly sworn through and correct through the notarial public by Attorney Niljan A. Villarico, with document number 29, page 7, book 4, certifying that all these items are the savings of the city government of Tagum, amounting to 35,540,326, and this could be covered, and this would be to again form part of the supplemental budget number 1 through this appropriation ordinance number 1. Later, this will be presented in the appropriate time. So, Madam Presiding Officer, as to question on the certifications, it was being contained by the third whereas of this resolution. So, again, this is again to certify that all items being declared savings are true and correct. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for that information. Any questions from the members? There being none, proceed to the amendments.
Amendment, Madam Presiding Officer, that all stipulations that covers this draft resolution number 608, series 2026, be subjected to form and style. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, resolution number 608 is subject to form and style.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod physically present be co-proponent of appropriation ordinance of resolution number 608, series 2026. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, all members physically present shall be co-proponents of resolution number 608.
I move finally, Madam Presiding Officer, that this be approved for second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, second by Councilor Aala. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lamos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor William. Madam President, all members physically present and in favor.
All members physically present being in favor, therefore resolution number 608 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next item is appropriation ordinance number 1, series of 2026, an ordinance appropriating the amount of 264,327,936 pesos and 12 centavos only to defray payment of expenditures embodied in supplemental budget number 1 under the general fund for calendar year 2026.
Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Again, Madam Presiding Officer, since all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod is in receipt of the copy of this appropriation ordinance number 1, series 2026, and with assumption that they have already read the full content of this appropriation ordinance, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala and Iliot. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, for approval for second reading.
Moved by Councilor Iliot, Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Aala and Revita. Is there any discussion?
Madam Presiding Officer, the public must know, Madam Presiding Officer, that the city of Tagum have had a budget consolidated from other items which form part of the savings, amounting to 264,327,936.12 pesos. Again, Madam Presiding Officer, on top of our annual budget of more or less 2.5 billion pesos, the city has still savings, at the same time a surplus, beginning balance surplus from 2025 amounting to 228,787,610.12 to be exact. And that's under Section 1 of this appropriation ordinance. And all the items here, Madam Presiding Officer, were thoroughly discussed during the local finance committee by the local finance committee board, and finally, for the sources of fund, as earlier presented, this was duly certified by the budget officer, the city treasurer, and city accountant. For the case of statement of appropriations, this is important, Madam Presiding Officer, so that the public may know that we appropriated an additional of 5 million pesos for fuel, oil, and lubricant expense because of the crisis encountered throughout the world, and there would be adjustment, Madam Presiding Officer. And again, the city government of Tagum is again instituting cost conserving expenses for fuel, and through the energy conservation efforts of the city. And there are items here, Madam Presiding Officer, if in the event that there will be question, Madam Presiding Officer, on the line item, specifically on the subsidy to COMELEC, because the COMELEC has a new office, Madam Presiding Officer, courtesy of the city government of Tagum. They have already transferred at the back of the City Hall. Again, we have appropriated subsidy for them to operate, because this is in preparation for the coming barangay elections. For donations, 6 million, and for other maintenance and operating expenses, 10,372,000. These are all under the office of the city mayor. And we noticed, Madam Presiding Officer, that there are other types of donations, but they are under the interagency, amounting to 1 million. This 29,679 pesos, 358 under other general services, this will support for the manpower complement of the city, for the distribution to the different offices by the presiding officer, so that we can, again, cope up with the demand of the services to be rendered. And we have several items for medical, dental, and laboratory expense for the city. We expanded. Reason is that we have just opened the new Super Health Center, or we call it formally as we call it as the primary health care facility of the city. That's located in Barangay South, so that's why we are appropriating for that, specifically for the support for dentists and doctors, Madam Presiding Officer, because we cannot hold dentists to practice privately, and again, we offer them a salary that would commensurate also of their profession. So that's why we are again adding expense for other general services. And what is significant here, Madam Presiding Officer, is on the technical and scientific equipment amounting to 4,600,000. This will support the schools, Madam Presiding Officer, for their facilities for the musical instruments. And one among the consideration is for the support of Tagum City High School, for Tagum City Comprehensive, and La Pilipina. So this will be distributed accordingly, Madam Presiding Officer, so that all Tagumeños must be equipped with appropriate skills for them, specifically for music. And for this motor vehicle, Madam Presiding Officer, this is 1 million. This is intended to support for our engineers. We will be allocating them with NWOW e-vehicle. This is we will be providing them so that by the time that we will inspect the projects, they will not anymore ask for fuel, oil, and lubricants, because these vehicles worth 1 million are all for an electric vehicle. For projects, Madam Presiding Officer, we have here budget for the development of for the engineering, and we have to browse over the budget for engineering. There's an appropriation for tetrapod mold, and this is the formworks, or the form for making of that windbreaker or water breaker for barangays Busaon, Barangay Libuganon, Barangay San Isidro, and Barangay Madaong. We have other big projects here, Madam Presiding Officer. And to take note, Madam Presiding Officer, on concreting of roads, and we have bus stop Daang Maharlika, though that is within the to be under the DPWH, but we cannot wait for DPWH because we have to realign some of the designed geometry of DPWH to suit for the demand of the people. So that's why we will be appropriating 3 million to finally finish the bus stops along that stretch from under the flyover. And we have a budget for maintenance here amounting to 10,800,000, repair and maintenance of government buildings. This is amounting to 7 million pesos. And this particular item will be used for government buildings, specifically the repair and maintenance of our City Hall due to the damage brought about by the October earthquake. And there's a budget for electrification program of 10 million. This will be, once there's an item here, Madam Presiding Officer, we can go back as a matter of guide. We'll go back to the EIP so that we will know what are those items to be procured under these 10 million pesos. And again, Madam Presiding Officer, for infra, there's an item here for the development of Madaom. That's under the development for Nabintad, and Nabintad will be again the next tourism destination of Tagum City. There's a budget for that, and also a budget for the development of the project in Apocon. That's the Restruct Unlimited. At the same time, again, to finally finish the Children's Park. And for the public market, Madam Presiding Officer, we will be starting developing our trade center, the acquired property in Barangay Visayan Village. So that would be, again, be developed so that finally that can be a new economic enterprise of the city government of Tagum. And finally, Madam Presiding Officer, to ensure that projects will be projects identified and supported by the budget will be again be implemented objectively. So we allocated, the committee decided to consider a new section under Section 4. Allow me to read. All offices that has budgetary allocation in this ordinance shall submit to the City Budget Office with the approval of the City Mayor their implementation plan, economic impact of the PPAs, fund utilization report after the termination of the allotted budget, and the quantifiable benefits. Meaning to say that every departments must draw their implementation plan, because we are required under the law for under the seal of local good governance that we should use all the money of the government for the services to the people and for infra support to the people. Under Section 6, allow me to reiterate, infrastructure projects and other high-impact projects and projects with appropriation exceeding 10 million pesos shall be required to conduct social preparation, meaning to say perception survey and other preparation, feasibility studies and equivalent studies to ascertain the viability, its viability, and compliance with the environmental laws and in adherence to other applicable laws. So this is the stipulate, Madam Presiding Officer, so that we would not be, again, the city government and 10 Sangguniang Panglungsod will be questioned by the COA on what are those, again, laws that will ensure viability and or feasibility of the projects as covered by this supplemental budget number 1. Madam Presiding Officer, if there are items to be asked by the members of the council, I am very willing to provide them information about the entirety of the utilization of the supplemental budget number 1. Thank you.
Thank you for that very detailed information. Any questions from the members? There being none, proceed to the amendments. Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move that all the stipulations under this supplemental or appropriation ordinance number 1, series 2026, be subjected to form and style. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, second by Councilor Ala. There being no objection, therefore, appropriation ordinance number 1 shall be subject to form and style.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod physically present be co-proponent of this appropriation ordinance number 1, series 2026.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Eliot and Ala. And there being no objection, therefore all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this appropriation ordinance.
This appropriation ordinance number 1 will observe, Madam Presiding Officer, on the 3 reading principle. So this would be good for second reading only. And this would be again calendared for 3rd reading on the next regular session. Thank you.
Okay, so any objection? There being none, therefore appropriation ordinance number 1 is approved on second reading. Next item.
Next, Madam President, we have resolution number 609, a resolution authorizing Honorable Way City Mayor to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum a contract for infrastructure project with Magar Construction and Supply for the construction of multipurpose building at Barangay San Agustin, Tagum City, funded by Local Government Support Fund, financial assistance to local government units or LGSF FALGU for fiscal year 2025.
Councilor Coquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Considering that all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panglungsod has a copy of this, as covered by the Joint Committee Report number 4, Series 2026, by the 3 committees, Committee on Public Works, Committee on Finance, Committee on Laws, and with the assumption that all members have already read the full content of this draft resolution, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Ala. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Presiding Officer, that this draft resolution number 609 be approved for second reading.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Ala and Catayas. Is there any discussion?
Madam Presiding Officer, before the discussion proper, it would be more prudent, Madam Presiding Officer, to request our guest and to present to us the new government procurement law, at the same time the process, how they award infrastructure projects to the competitive bidders. So with this, Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the suspension of the internal rules to accommodate our guest from the Bids and Awards Committee. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilor Revita. We need 2/3 votes. Okay, so those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, we have Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Eliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Lazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rilon. Madam President, all members physically present are in favor.
All members physically present being in favor, therefore rules are now suspended. Councilor Ala is requested to please.
now for us to be educated on the key provisions of Republic Act, the new Republic Act 12009. This is in lieu of Republic Act 9184, being known as the Government Procurement Law. So may we again welcome our guests, the Secretariat, the Head Secretariat of the BAC, in the person of Ma'am Joy Ditumal. So kindly present, ma'am, and please provide us the outline of your presentation also. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone,
Afternoon.
especially to our presiding officer. I will be presenting the key provisions of RA 12009, and I would like to disclose that the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation that will be presented to you is from the GPPB, since dili magud siya allowed na magbuhat ni o kanang PowerPoint presentation na koan. So from the GPPB, and also I would like to disclose that I am not a professional government procurement officer po. So this presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, the purpose of this is for presentation purposes only. Okay, so for the key provision, so okay, so for the outline, I will be presenting the brief background of the NGPA, the general provisions of the NGPA and its IRR, and the key features of the NGPA and its IRR.
Cut na lang.
Okay, so for the brief background, so why the change? Why change from RA 9184 to RA 12009 when we can amend the RA 9184? So these are the reasons that has been considered to the change to RA 12009. So first is there is identified gaps in RA 9184. So RA 9184 daw is slow ang process, low bidder participation, and challenges in the contract implementation. And another reason for the change to RA 12009 is the need for modernization. So since need na ang digital transformation, sustainable procurement approaches, and risk based on procurement planning. So which is why wala gi-amend ang RA 9184 but gi-change to RA 12009 or the new Government Procurement Act. Okay, so mao ni siya ang timeline of the reforms. 2019 to 2021 assessment of public procurement in the Philippines, and then early recommendations on reforms to RA 9184, year 2022, year 2022 to 2023, consultations and stakeholders engagement on updating of procurement rules, 2023 to 2024 legislative processes, approval of and publication of RA 12009 last July 2024, the publication of the IRR February 2025, the approval of standard forms May 2025, and we have the transitory period of 3 years from the approval of the standard forms. So that is from May 2025 to May 2028, the HOPE, the BAC, the TWG, its secretariat, and the GPPB is given 3 years transitory period to fully comply with RA 12009. The IRR of RA 12009 took effect on February 25, 2025, or 15 days after its publication last February 10, 2025. The standard procurement forms were approved on May 14, 2025, and the GPPB, as mentioned earlier, the HOPE, the procuring entities, and the BAC have 3 years from the approval of the standard bidding forms to fully comply with NGPA. So by May 14, 2028, dapat fully compliant na yun ang mga procuring entities sa RA 12009. As for the hierarchy of procurement regulations, so we have the RA 12009, the prevailing law governing the public procurement. Then we have its IRR, guidelines, manuals or toolkits, and standard bidding forms. So question now is, considering that RA 9184 and its IRR are already repealed, may the procuring entities still use its provisions, forms, guidelines, and circulars to implement RA 12009? So the answer is, RA 12009 and its IRR should already be applied during the transition period. Nonetheless, procuring entities may continue to use existing forms and guidelines issued under RA 9184. For provisions in RA 12009 that does not have yet specific guidelines but are substantively similar to those under RA 9184, such as those on framework agreement, design and build scheme, early procurement activities, and others, entities may apply corresponding RA 9184 guidelines, provided that they are consistent with the new law. This approach ensures continuity and compliance without interrupting procurement process. So sa katong mga wala pa mga specific na guidelines, dito ta mag-base sa RA 9184. But katong naanag yung mga specific guidelines sa under RA 12009, we need to use the RA 12009. For the general provisions of RA 12009, declaration policy, this provision of this IRR aligns with the commitment of the government of the Philippines to promote ideals of good governance, achieve value for money, and ensure the most advantageous outcome for government by interpreting the rules in favor of government procurement. Ito po yung declaration policy ng RA 12009, and the governing principles are enhanced transparency, improved competitiveness, increased efficiency, proportionality, enhanced accountability, participatory procurement, sustainability, and professionalism. As to the scope and application, this applies to all procurement by any branch, agency, department, bureau, office, or instrumentality of the government of the Philippines, including GOCCs, GFIs, SUCs, and LGUs, regardless of the source of fund. For treaties or international or executive agreements, prevail over the IRR in case of conflict. But if silent on the foreign-funded procurement, the IRR applies. Exclusion or exception. So RA 12009 does not apply to procurement funded from foreign grants unless the government of the Philippines and the foreign guarantor agrees otherwise. Next, acquisition of real property governed by the right-of-way, and public-private sector infrastructure or development projects covered by the PPP, provided that for portions financed by the GOP, the IRR shall apply. This also excludes non-procurement activities such as direct assistance in cash or in kind to beneficiaries, participation in local or foreign scholarships or trainings, engagement of contract of service and job order personnel, and disposal of government properties unless otherwise provided.
Mr. Presiding Officer, may we know, ma'am, or if our request to cover is on the approach or how you use this applicability of this law to the project which we will be deliberating, Madam, giving authority to the local chief executive to Magar Construction. So, can we be given that process on how many have both their bid documents, who are those contractors, is it governed by the new government procurement law to divulge, because it's a public record that there were how many contractors who bid out, and the winning bidder is this Magar, this subject for our deliberation. So, with this, Madam, may we be enlightened, because one of the yung mga key strategic procurement will be again observed by your end.
Yes, Mr.
Next is the new procurement modality, meaning using electronic government procurement system. So, and the simplified bid eligibility. And the last is the sustainable public procurement that embedded economic, environmental, social considerations into the procurement. So, one main question here, Mr. Presiding Officer, to our guest is on the process of reviewing the costing of the items covered by the program of works. Because under new law, there should not be an excess of 35% of the market price of the items. In the event that for the costing of cement as placed there during the bidding, in your bidding, that the cost is more than 35, so outright the bank will be again reserving to not to defer the conduct of bidding because it should be again corrected. So may we know if that's covered by the new government procurement law?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. So under the RA 12009, in the process of the procurement, ang ato ang mga end users, sila po ang nag-prepare sa purchase request, and then prior to the preparation of the purchase request, they are required to prepare market scoping po, or parang market study. Yes po, Mr. Chair. And then after that, i-send nila sa AMOA ang PR together with the market scoping, and then the back secretariat will check if wala ba siya naglampas sa market price po, yung nasa price ng nasa PR.
So, Mr. Presiding Officer, may we know if all those things were observed during the bidding process? Because we will be surprised as parang the work of the City Council is, our mandate is with an oversight function, meaning to say, reason why we ask for to submit to us the program of works, because we determine, say for example, the costing for painting is 2.4 million, and by plain view, why is it that there's an expenses of 2.4 million for the painting when in fact the building has no there's no painting? So may we know, may we be enlightened in your end during the payment, what's now the function of the bank during payment or for the release of do we still observe the 15% mobilization fund fee?
For infrastructure projects, Mr. Chair, we observe 15%
15%.
mobilization
Next
fee po.
is billing of
Progress billing po,
of,
25% completion of the project. The first progress billing. The second progress billing is 50%. The third progress billing is 75% completion. And the final billing is 100%. All those progress billing is subject to 10% retention fee
so
po.
when will be the retention be requested for again for release?
The retention fee is, should be released 1 year after the final acceptance of the project, Mr. Chair. Yes po.
Okay, so to be specific, Madam, Mr. Presiding Officer, on this MAGAR, may we know if this MAGAR, because supposedly this MAGAR construction and supply, they will be invited by the committee because there was a request to fast track, reason for fast track because of the rising cost of the materials. May we know if the provision for price escalation will be is to be applied in this case of projects?
As of now, Mr. Chair, wala pa po siya na-discuss sa Bids and Awards Committee. Since wala pa ma'am po good.
Under the government procurement law, there's a specific provision for price adjustment.
Yes, Mr.
It should
Chair,
not be
meron
more than 10%. So have you read the full content of the government procurement law?
Wala pa din, Mr.
so
Chair. Mga salient provisions.
so with that, may we know if this MAGAR construction is a single proprietorship?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the MAGAR construction po is single proprietorship.
For cases of corporate covered by the SEC, may we request your end, ma'am, to certify that who are those personalities that will sign the contract, and including this case, because we need to determine so that there would be no repetition and there would be no rectification, because we observed in the previous, you wrote a letter addressed to the committee requesting for rectification, meaning to say it is not the fault of the Sangguniang,
yes, Mr.
but
Chair.
the fault of the entity that prepares the endorsement. So we hope that it would be corrected.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
So final question, Madam, Mr. Presiding Officer. May we know if this project is not a project that will be undertaken by to be subcontracted? For subcontracting provision, Madam, are you familiar with subcontracting provision?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Under RA 12009, subcontracting is allowed. However, sa ato pong sa bidding documents nga nakastipulate sa ato ang issue is no subcontracting is allowed po for this particular
So
project.
in your bid bulletin for this particular project, no subcontracting
Yes,
will be allowed?
Mr. Chair, no
So it's specific in
in the Philippine bidding documents
in
po.
the
issued.
bid bulletin?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. May I will leave Mr. Presiding Officer to other members to ask some question.
Thank you, Honorable Coquilla. I have a question, ma'am. With regarding to the slippage, ma'am, with the slippage, at least maximize ko nga slippage because during the past, taas kayang slippage nga nahitabo and hopefully nga dili na mahitabo inato katason.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the allowable slippage is 15% under RA 12009. However, sa back manggod, Mr. Chair, dili manggod mi makahibalo sa slippage unless maka-receive mi og report from the City Engineering Office na naga-monitor po sa project.
Thank you, ma'am. Any of the city councilors, Honorable Attorney Wakan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ma'am Joy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
With regards sa kaning provision of the contract, specifically Article 6, Section 3. The procuring entity may terminate this agreement if the contractor incurs delay for more than 7 days. 7 days ba ang ano, good? For construction, I think this is for goods. 7 days ba ang ano, ang delay for construction, that it will be a reason for the part of the procuring entity to, as a ground to terminate the contract.
Marag that's for goods po, Mr. Chair, ang 7 days.
I ask that it be rectified na lang as to the number of days to justify the termination of the agreement.
Yes, Mr. Chair, noted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Wakan. Honorable Arthur Ong.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Ma'am Joy, maayong hapon.
May hapon, sir.
Before fully supporting the giving of authority to the local chief executive, can the construction company guarantee the number of working days to complete the project?
Ano?
Kaya mauman na sa contract.
Yes.
Kato when they submitted for their intention to bid, aside sa paghatag nato na because barato lang ang ilang presyo, does the company possess the capability to finish the contract at the right time?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the Maglar Construction po, nagbid po sila, and based sa ilaha pong gibid is wala man po sila alterations or modifications on the number of days to fully complete the project.
Okay, so kasi personally, I really want to implement the number of days that they provided in the contract. Kasi kasagaran mahitabo, super excess na sa days, no? And it will cost us not just time, but also money. So can we be sure that the implementation of this contract will be strictly followed by the company? Kay murag, bago ba nila company? Anong classification nila as a construction company?
Construction company.
AAA?
Check sa natin, Mr. Chair.
Pa-double check na nga to.
Ang license category po nila is category B, size range is medium A, classification is general engineering, general building po.
General building. With the amount capacity of?
As to their NFCC computation, their NFCC computation po is 1,078,581,632.13. Yung NFCC computation po kasi is one of the documents, financial documents na chine-check natin to see if they are financially capable po aside from their audited financial statements.
Okay, sige. So, at least the numbers are there, so it's now on our part to monitor, no? Kung
yes,
matuman
Mr.
yun.
Chair.
Just final question, Mr. Presiding Officer. Kaning contract nila, kaning 12 million pesos, tibuok na gid na barangay hall, including the paintworks and all others?
Fully finished?
As to sa yes, Mr. Chair, as the 12 million will be based on the program of works po na gi-prepare sa City Architect's Office po.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, Ma'am Joy.
Thank you, Honorable Ong. Any more questions? Honorable Coquilla.
The contract for infrastructure projects, Ma'am Joy, can you confirm that this is the contract copy? And all this documentation were from your office.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And it states here, City Government of Tagum will be, again, the contracting party, City Government and Magar Construction and Supply. Allow me to read, Magar Construction and Supply, a registered construction firm under the Securities and Exchange Commission with DTI business number 1104955 with business address at 138 Joshua Street, Villa Park Subdivision, Cabantian, Davao City. May we know if, based on your earlier statement that this is a sole proprietorship, may we know what's the reason that there's an inscription here of Securities and Exchange Commission?
Sir, I would like to make some corrections po. Wala na erase ang Securities and Exchange Commission. It should be with DTI business number 1104955 po, sir. Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Again, Madam Joy, may we again request you before it would be transmitted to the Sangguniang, specifically on times that it would be certified as urgent, there should be due diligence in the proofreading and or the editing of all the contracts, because we cannot change. By the time that we will approve this one, again, you will request for rectification. So we need to know on the finality if this is really the final.
Noted po, Mr. Chair. We will check po and we will send the final copy po na lang.
So when will be the targeted date for the groundbreaking of this particular project, the construction of multipurpose building in Barangay San Agustin?
I do not have the knowledge po as to the groundbreaking.
So you have no knowledge. So can you certify that all the stipulations under this contract are all were subjected for editing except the Security and Exchange Commission for deletion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. And under Article 6 po, as noted by our Attorney Edmar Kwakan, atong sa 7 days po, Mr. Chair.
May we know in what particular section?
Article number 6, section number 3, Mr. Chair. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the procuring entity may terminate its agreement if the contractor incurs delay for more than 7 days in any phase of the project and based on the work schedule annexed hereto, and in the event of any substantial deviation made by the contractor from the approved plans. Yung 7 days po, Mr. Chair, we will finalize po.
So this is correct, 7 days? This will stay as 7 days?
Meron pong corrections po dyan, Mr. Chair.
What's the corrections?
Yung sa 7 days po, Mr. Chair, i-finalize po namin with the City Engineering Office po.
So, when are we going to?
We will submit po
this one? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow po,
So we
Mr.
will
Chair.
lay this one on the table and then we will finalize this one on April 20.
No,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair,
Honorable Coquilla.
because their office will be the one to for the billing purposes. Say for example, for first billing. So your office will be the one to process based on the documents submitted and the supporting documents from the city engineering.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Specifically, among others, the required is the SWA. meaning statement of work accomplished.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And again, may we remind, again, it should be diligently be checked because there are times that they will request for time extension and they secured that supporting document from Pag-asa, but there's also a simultaneous project that were undertaken and observed, but there was no certification as to the occurrence of rainfall. So we need to double check on that because it will be again be subject for legal proceedings in the event that there will be failure on the part for exerting efforts as a matter of due diligence.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Coquilla. In additional, Ma'am Joy, always po na ito atong tanawon po also ang lahang materials kay there is a precedence that the lacking of the materials that they have provide namang certain nga mga materials during sa past na nahitabo nga nagpaabot pa sila. So let us be sure na this contractor will really provide all of the materials for the construction. Dili nga ma-reason pa nga wala pang gud nga klase nga materials.
Noted, Mr. Chair. We will relay it to the winning bidder during the pre-construction conference po.
Thank you. Honorable Wakan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ma'am Joy, last thing also, under Article 3, Section 1, the contractor agrees to begin work based on the notice to proceed signed by them. And if you know, it has been part of the experience po, no, ang kanang ginabuhat sa ubang contractors to delay the formal receipt of the notice to proceed and formally signing to formally receive the NTP para ma-delay ang ilang commencement of work. So if they will sign this contract but they will sign and receive the NTP 1 month after. So any way to can there be any way to correct the kanang mga delaying tactics on the part sa contractors? I'm sorry to point that out.
For the receipt of notice to proceed po, Mr. Chair, the RA 12009 states that the notice to proceed must be received within 7 days from the signing of the contract po. So we will take note on that.
Okay, so we should revise the specific Section 1 under Article 3 because this has been given their ano lang yapon one-sided opportunity on the part of the contractor to either sign it or not. No, so we will follow the specific provisions lang under the latest government procurement. Thank you.
Any more? Honorable Coquilla? None? So, since no more... Honorable Lemos, Attorney Lemos?
I will read Section 3 for clarity. No? Section 3 of Article 1, it says here, payment shall be made through progress billing. Tama. However, mobilization fee may be allowed upon formal request and approval of the other party in an amount not exceeding 15% of the total contract price upon submission of bank guarantee or surety bond. But no release of final payment can be made unless and until the project has been completed, inspected, and accepted by the procuring entity to full satisfaction. I heard some contract in the government that the procuring entity will withhold 10% of the total amount. Is that still in practice?
Yes, Mr. Chair, it is dapat naga-retention kita.
Retention, yeah.
Yes.
But not provided here. There is I examined the document, but there is no provision here that the procuring entity is authorized to withhold to some extent the amount 10% of the contract price. And when shall we, what is the duration of the retention? Meaning 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 1 month? What is the practice?
1 year po from the
1 year.
final acceptance.
Yeah, because in here, as long as the project is accepted, we are already obliged to pay whole amount in accordance with Section 3.
Okay, noted, Mr. Chair. We will,
Okay, this is my observation, no? Upon submission of bank guarantee, but no release of final payment can be made unless and until the project has been completed, inspected, and accepted. So in other words, before, even though the project is completed and accepted, still the retention is here. Di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But in this, pag accepted now, the contractor can now demand full payment in this section.
Okay, noted
So
po,
kindly,
Mr. Chair. Yes po, Mr. Chair. We will,
look into this. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Lemos. Any more? None? So, Honorable Catayas? Loud and clear. Honorable Coquilla?
If there are no other concerns from the members of the Sangguniang, Mr. Chair, I would like to extend our gratitude to the Bids and Awards Committee through Ma'am Joy Ditomal for your presence, ma'am, for enlightening this body. Again, Madam, our request is to finalize all the stipulations of this contract so that this would be finally be deliberated on April 20.
Noted po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Daghang kayong salamat sa imuhang presensya.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Joy.
We have no other matters, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I move for the restoration of the internal rules.
It was moved by Honorable Coquilla, seconded by Honorable Catayas, Honorable Sharawi Salazar, and Honorable Leo Rivita. Honorable Coquilla?
Mr. Chair, there's the suspension was already lifted. And we now, again, we are in the period of discussion. May we know, Mr. Chair, if you will still remain as the presiding officer or temporarily? So that we can,
Temporarily.
may we know if we can proceed, Mr. Chair?
Nagmerienda po.
I move, Mr. Chair, for 2 minutes recess.
Okay, 2 minutes recess. Honorable Catayas?
proceed, since you'll be authorized as presiding officer, may we ask from the Secretary, Mr. Chair, on the effect of who will sign as presiding officer by the time that there will be the preparation and transcript of the minutes and journal will be prepared by the Secretary to the Sangguniang.
Mr. President, according to the local government code, whoever presides during that particular portion of the session will sign the minutes, the excerpts. But as to the minutes, sir, both of them will sign.
So, to that effect, Mr. Secretary, that in the final presentation of the minutes and journal, both of them will sign as presiding officer.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Or it would be indicated in the footnote that only this portion was being presided by...
Page 1 to page 50. Only,
I will do that, sir.
51.
Yes, sir. But it will be, but the excerpts will show, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yan kasi sa votation.
So if we'll proceed, Mr. Chair, since during the presentation of the information of the new government procurement law and some of the observations made by the members of the Sangguniang, specifically on the content of the contract, that the contract still needs rectification from the Bids and Awards Committee through their amendment. I move that this be again laid on the table temporarily, and this would be calendared on April 20 for second reading, provided that all items subject for amendment, refinement will be presented by the, or all items for amendment will be submitted by the Bids and Awards Committee. I so move, Mr. Chair.
It was moved by Honorable Coquilla to lay on the table the said resolution. Seconded by Honorable Leo Ribita, Honorable Iliot, Honorable Catayas, Honorable Kaasi. Next, Mr. Secretary. Announcement? Any announcement? So, sa birthday?
Di ba, way pansit last time? Lechon lang.
Announcement.
Honorable
The Committee on Peace and Order will hold a committee refinement or meeting on 13, no? On April 15, 9 o'clock here. And on the 17th April at 9 o'clock, we have a public hearing with respect to itong ordinance na ito gani. Peacekeepers Ordinance. 9 o'clock in E-Park for 11 barangays. And in the afternoon, 2 p.m. for the 12 barangays. So, dalawang session ito. 250 sa morning, 250 din sa hapon. So, all councilors are invited because these are all porok chairman. Except Kaloy, kamera Loy, kamera. Ay, pag-adto. So, that's just my announcement, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, so all councilors are invited. Since you are all councilors, and I'm not councilor, Vice Mayor ko karon. Kaulan Kaloy. Any more announcement? So, since no more announcement and no more discussion, I declare this 37th regular session adjourned.